Far off in the distance from the lodge, the group could see an abandoned mansion, likely the hideout of cars and the pillar men. The sun had already risen and it was nearly high noon. There was no chance of them attempting to make an escape. As the groups would settle in together, now gathering their intel, along with platitudes and greetings for their new friend, more discoveries of this world became open to Joseph. Learning from Diana of Dimskara, otherwise known as the Wonder Woman, about the Society of Campione, of those known as kings who fight against heretic gods, the situation only became more and more dire. "You have to be kidding me," Joseph said. "As if dealing with 1,000-year-old pillar men, vampires, and zombies weren't enough. You mean to tell me that all of this is the work of some rogue Egyptian god?" "Well, now that kind of makes sense in the grand scheme of things." "So the pillar men are nothing but pawns," Caesar would say. "In a way of speaking, yes they are," Diana said. "In the end, this is all the work of a heretic god looking to conquer this world for himself. Anubis has always been one of the more stubborn deities." "But what exactly are we supposed to do against the likes of a god?" Messina said. "As users of Hamon, battling against the likes of the Pillar Men, it's what we live for, that's one thing. But the fight against the true power of a god, that's something entirely different. This isn't anything we could have ever comprehended, and..." "It's all right, Messina," Lisa said. "We all knew that our lives were going to be staked on this mission. Nothing has changed now." "But what exactly are we going to do?" Stroheim said. Half of a man, mostly mechanical, now reduced to a wheelchair with only one good arm. "Our enemy lies across the mountainside in an abandoned mansion. I think that now is the time for us to strike. As much as I would hate to say I agree with the German," Caesar said. "We have them entirely outnumbered. We have the sun on our side. We can take them out in one fell swoop and be done with all of this." "I don't think that's a good idea." "What was that?" "Why are you starting to show cowardice now, JoJo?" "It's not about cowardice, but I just think that things aren't going to be that simple. We're fighting against beings that have existed for thousands of years, who have seen numerous amounts of combat. Do you really think that this is the first time they've ever been pinned down in enemy territory without having any need for escape? I don't think they would have done something like this if they didn't have a plan up their sleeve." "So what? Do we just sit back and do nothing?" "No, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is there's no time to waste. For all we know, they could be planning an escape right now. If we wait, we'll lose our only chance. I promise you that's not going to happen. But there's no need for us to barge in and just..." "I should have known better. You're nothing like your grandfather. Nothing at all. And perhaps I don't want to be. With all due respect for either of our grandfathers, it's not like it turned out too well for them." "What was that?" "It's the truth, Caesar. They fought with valor. They fought with everything they had. But in the end of the day, they still died young. Is that what you want for yourself? To just throw away your life on a crusade? To end up like your grandfather? I'd rather end up like him and like Jonathan Joestar before I'd ever become someone like you." "Wait, Caesar, where are you going?" Without any hesitation, Caesar headed off towards the mansion, with Messina following after. "That stubborn fool. I can understand how he feels. I too want to go and save my friend. Steve." Oh, you mean that American soldier? Yes, I didn't even take that into account. But I also have this uneasy feeling, as if there's something in that mansion that we're not aware of. But between the two of us, we should be more than strong enough to deal with this foe. But still, what's gotten Caesar so worked up? It's not like him. Lisa would explain Caesar's past to JoJo, explaining how his grandfather Antonio and how his father Mario had died in their crusade of fighting against the Stone Mask, a crusade that now fell upon his shoulders, a crusade that had changed his life. I had no idea. He's been holding it in for that long. The boy's a lot stronger than you think, Captain said. You seem more healed up? A couple of broken bones here and there, but what are you gonna do? Modern medicine and Speedwagon Foundation sure knows how to work miracles. Yes, Stroheim said. After your body was taken for a joyride by the Pillar Man, I was sure it would be the end of you. Sorry to disappoint you, my German counterpart, but I'm not going out so easily. As for Caesar, he's a boy that has a lot of anger and emotion driven inside of him. But that's a part of his strength, his fire. That's not something that you can just take away so easily. I'm going to go on ahead and meet up with him. If you guys want to watch on from a distance, I think that'll be the safer move. What do you mean? Well, think about it. We can't all go charging into enemy territory, and you're some of our heaviest hitters. But we do need to figure out what's going on the inside. Take this. He handed JoJo a small radio that he could plug into his ear. It should have a good enough range to pick up. So, if anything goes wrong, I'll give you a call. You guys stay on the outside and you wait for them to come running. We've got the sun on our side, so we need to take advantage. And you know what they say. You don't burn down the whole forest to try to hunt a rabbit. All we gotta do is fish them out of the bushes, so to speak. And as soon as they step out, unless they've got a hefty umbrella, they're gonna be met with the good old rays of the sun. And if not, you guys are gonna give them the good old one too. Leave it to the captain to always make a plan. Very well then, we'll follow your lead. Meanwhile, Messina and Caesar would arrive to the doors of the mansion, as Caesar yelled for the pillar men to come out. But before he could, he felt something. An ominous presence, an aura bearing down upon him. It felt like someone was outside. Faint traces of footprints in the snow, but yet he could see no one. As Messina stood by him, suddenly the doors would open, as a barreling gust of wind would push forward. Without warning, Messina would lose his arm before being dragged deep inside, as Caesar would look around, trying to figure out how they had been attacked. It couldn't be possible. There was no way that they could move in the sunlight. But upon closer inspection, Caesar's worst fears would be realized. The pillar man Wamu was in their midst, a master of the wind, and he was using the air as a form of shielding, pumping it through and around his entire body, using it as a way of refracting the sunlight, making him appear almost entirely invisible, barely seen by the naked eye. And worse, an enemy that could fight in the daylight. You have come all this way, but I am waiting for Joestar and Nabu to show themselves. Unfortunately for you, you don't get what you want around here. I will be your opponent, more than enough. Preposterous. I told you, Wamu said. I have only come for Joestar. Other than that, you are of little consequence to me. Be gone and do not waste my time. And just where do you think you're going? Caesar would use the bubble cutter technique as he sprayed his cutting bubbles all around the area, using them to slash through with their infused hamon. Your body might be able to conceal yourself with the wind. However, my bubbles, infused with hamon, can cut through that shielding with ease and can still reach you. The bubble cutters have been very effective, so much so that Wamu was forced to open the doors and retreat on the inside, with Caesar bursting through with an open hole to follow. I hope you don't think that you're going to escape me that easily, Wamu. As he walked inside of the dark and barren mansion, Wamu stood atop of the staircase, looking down upon his foe. Looking into the eyes of Caesar Zabelli, he saw the look of a killer, of a warrior spirit. Your eyes, boy, they're not the same as they were before. Once I was able to brush you aside with ease, but now that look that you give me is most unsettling. The look of someone who aims to take my life, and someone who has the confidence to do it. With a look like that, I cannot turn you away. No, I must now kill you. Like I will ever allow that to happen. Caesar would use the bubble cutter once again, launching his bubbles towards Wamu, who would attempt to slash them. But before he could, the bubbles would begin to expand, transforming as he would begin to use another one of his techniques, the bubble lens. From the light of the outside, the bubbles would refract the light of the sun, as they began to form all around Wamu, cutting him with beams of sunlight. The Pillar Man now found himself trapped, as Caesar would begin to close his hands together, preparing to use his ultimate technique, his own Hamon spell. I conjured this just for you, Wamu. As Caesar would clasp his hands together, slowly, rays of sun would begin to form around him, as the light would be bent and transformed until it formed a large circular disc, something akin to a mirror. This is my Hamon spell, the mirror of the sun. A mirror can reflect light. In creating this, I can create my own sun, even in a room of darkness. If just one strand of light is able to hit it, this whole room will be flooded with sunlight. You'll have nowhere to escape. He is truly dangerous. Someone so young, and yet he is capable of casting a Hamon spell, something akin to a mirror. I must stop him. Divine Sandstorm! With both of his arms, tornadoes would begin to shoot through the room, kicking up large amounts of dust, blocking the path of the mirror as the light would cut through. One of Wamu's arms would be taken off, but still he had managed to do just enough damage. The two attacks would collide, with Caesar being severely hurt, knocked all the way down. As for Wamu, with no choice, he took hold of Messina, starting to cut away at his body to replace the parts he had lost. Messina's yells, blood-curdling screams, would pang Caesar's heart, as he looked up to see from the dust clearing, as Wamu would begin to restore himself. You truly are dangerous. I cannot allow you to live. Be proud. You have earned my respect. And because of that, you have earned death. As he approached Caesar, who slowly stood, he held his hand to the palm of his face. A point-blank shot of divine sandstorm. It'll take my head off, and I don't know how much strength I have left. Damn you! This is the end of you, Haman user. Immediately, swooping in through the large hole, with his wings gliding on his back, Captain Midnight would kick Wamu directly in the face, sending the Pillar Man back, but not far enough. I hope I'm not too late now. You can't start the party without the captain now, can you? And who are you? Captain! Well, Caesar, you look like you've been through worse. Old boy's put you through the ringer now, hasn't he? Get out of here! It's dangerous! Don't worry about me, kid. I may not have Haman or all those fancy light tricks like you and JoJo and Miss Lisa, but I'm capable of pulling out a miracle whenever I need to. Is this some kind of an insult? You send someone who cannot even use Haman to face me? Tell me, have you come here to die? Well, who knows? I've been flirting with death for a long time now. With all the stunts and all the tricks I've pulled in life, perhaps the Grim Reaper is finally long overdue and he's time come to collect his debt. But if that's the case, then I see no reason for me to not go out with a bang. No! Please, Captain! You can't! Go! Save yourself and... Hey, kid. Sometimes you gotta stop and smell the roses, huh? What? I know you've been through a lot, Caesar. Believe me. You have a lot of anger in your heart, and you want to try to get it all out. I know that feeling. The feeling that you gotta try to prove yourself. That feeling that you've always gotta try to live up to some expectation. I don't know if you ever heard this or not, but I'm proud of you, Caesar. I know what type of kid you are. You've got a lot of heart, a lot of spirit, and a lot of other stuff too that I can't fully name or comprehend. Like I said, I don't know about all that Haman or all that fancy stuff. All I've ever had is my guts, my wits, my gadgets, and the know-how to fly a plane. And through all that, I've seen a lot of things, a lot of scary things. I've lived my life with a lot of regret, but this isn't one of them. You have a future ahead of you, kid. A bright one. There's no need to snuff out a flame so early. One that's only just beginning to give off its true light. And as for you, my Pillar Man friend, I'm gonna be your opponent now. But don't go underestimating me. I may not have the parlor tricks, but I've got it where it counts. And I promise you, you're gonna remember me. So many have said that before, and yet their names have been lost to the sands of time. You will be no different. Is that so? Well, allow me to pay you back personally. Your friend that died? It was me. I did it. Are you speaking of Master AC/DC? Yeah. Guy tried to stroll in and take over my body like he ever could. Walked around like he didn't think he owed me rent money. So I showed him what for. And now you wish to tell lies. I'm supposed to believe that AC/DC was killed by the likes of you? Well, I'm still standing. And where's your master? Oh yeah, I know. His ashes got scattered to the wind. He died like a loser, a coward, to a mere human. Guess you Pillarmen aren't as strong as you think. If it took just little old me to bring you down. What's the matter? I've already got one. How about I go 2 for 2? You want to try your luck? Well, go on. No one's stopping you. Your words are foolish. You speak nothing but arrogance. But if you wish to die, then very well. Hold on now. Before we get started, there's one last thing. And what's that? Are you afraid of the dark? Captain Midnight would throw down a smoke grenade, the room being filled with pitch black, Wamu unable to see what was happening. He has obscured my vision. He thinks he can hide from me. I can feel the heat of your body. I know where you are. What? Why does this room? It feels like the heat is all around me. It feels like he's everywhere, but nowhere. Aw, what's the matter? I thought you said you could see me, right? Well, come on. Show me some of that Pillar Man magic. Show me what you're really capable of. Ugh! Immediately, Wamu felt a blast to his back. It stings, doesn't it? That's the good old light torch. It's made from silicon, a good absorbing material for sunlight. You charge it up, and then you fire. Another shot to Wamu's knee, causing him to fall to the ground and stagger. Yeah, you consider yourself a god, don't you? Well, how does it feel to be a god that's been forced to his knees? The light torch would crack Wamu in the head. Wamu attempted to grab hold of the captain, but the captain would use his grapple hook to move to the ceiling above, before firing off a payload from his twin guns. Silicon bullets. They probably only sting a little, but I'll make sure to make every shot count. With his infrared vision, he shot into Wamu. Wamu feeling every bullet incredulously. Even though his body could absorb it, the pain was still staggering. For Caesar, he was left in amazement at what the captain was able to do. Finally, he would go swooping in for another strike, but as the light beam would collide with his skull once more, Wamu grabbed hold of the captain's leg, snapping it and pulling off his left leg at the kneecap. Captain! It seems that you've been grounded. I told you, your insolence would get you nowhere. And now, Divine Sandstorm! As Wamu would launch the Divine Sandstorm, Captain Midnight would counter as he used some of his quicklime smoke grenades, filled with a special gel that would harden upon impact. Of course, the damage of the Divine Sandstorm was far greater than his body could take, especially after being used for a joyride by AC/DC less than 24 hours ago. As Caesar found himself trying to find where the captain was, he felt something jolt him out through the large hole in the side of the building. It was a grappling hook. Attached to it, another device that pulled him out. It was the captain's wings to his suit. They had been fired to pull him away. As Caesar found himself landing on the outside, he felt something tied up. Inside of one of the pockets, there was the nose ring. Wamu's nose ring. He managed to snag it during the fight, and then he sent me out of here. No, Captain, what are you going to do? The antidote. So that's what you aimed for. And then you threw out the Hamon user. There's no place for him to die. You truly are a stubborn fool. Well, Caesar did all the heavy lifting. All I could do was pitch in and... You're bleeding out. At this point, you are going to die. Get this off of me! For a human, you truly were impressive. Who said that this was all I got? Don't do any more. Moving will only kill you sooner. Damn, this hurts. This really, really hurts. Well, I guess we don't always get to have a fairy tale ending now, do we? Wamu! You have nothing left to fight for. You can't even stand. Why? Why do you continue to resist? What do you think that this will accomplish? If you truly don't understand after all this time, I don't think you ever will. You pillar men are truly incredible, you know that? No matter how much damage you take, you can always keep fighting. You lose a limb, it doesn't matter to you. You just throw on another one and you just keep it moving. That's probably how you've always gone through life. You don't know what it means to struggle. What it means to keep fighting even when it feels like the whole world is against you. That's the human spirit. To keep fighting even when it feels like all hope is lost. Even when you know what the outcome is going to be. That's when life is truly at its best. Because you learn what type of man you really are. Do you just lay down at the feet of inevitability? The captain's belt would begin to glow. Or do you give it all you've got? That's the difference between me and you, Wamu. Even at the face of death, I have no doubt about who I am. And I might not be the one to kill you. But think about this. When you stand at death's door, ask yourself who you truly are. A final act of desperation. Sacrificing your life. All for the sake of someone else. Can you really live with a sacrifice like that? Can you? Very well then. What is your name? It's Jim Albright. But you can call me Captain Midnight! Just then the others would arrive to see Caesar lying on the ground, bleeding out, using his breathing to try to slow down the flow of his blood as Lisa would attend to his wounds. Caesar! Caesar! Joseph would say. Where's the captain? He's inside. I leave the rest to you. JoJo! Captain! A large explosion would then occur, as everyone else would be blown back by the force. The roof would cave in. Wamu countering with the divine sandstorm, only creating a greater pressure. By the time the explosion had settled, JoJo would rush in with the others. he and Diana looking around to find where the captain had gone. Captain! Come on, you stupid old man! Why would you do something like this? All you had to do was wait! Damn it! Should have just left sooner! Why? Why? Come on! I'll find you. And after I drag your stupid old ass to the hospital, you're done. You hear me? You're not flying anymore. You're gonna sit down and you're gonna retire with Granny Irina and Speedwagon. Do you understand? JoJo, let me go. I have to find him. Come on. Come on. Come on, Captain. Come on. Where are you? Captain. Come on, just say something. Just say something, please. Captain. JoJo, stop. Diana would say. Let go of me! Captain? Captain, where are you? Come on! Come on, stop playing around! Come on! I got it! JoJo would throw on the helmet of fate. Naboo, I need your help! Give me all your power. Help me clear a way. And JoJo, no! I can find him. Even if he has the faintest of breath. I know that I can, JoJo. Just help me. Please. I've already said I'll do whatever you want. You can use all of me. I don't care. I'm not going to let someone else die. Please. Please just help me. You know why I can't do that. Why not? Why? Huh? You're supposed to have all this power, right? We can do anything. Anything. And you're telling me I can't save one person. JoJo, you know what happened. Why would you continue to do this? The captain is... Don't say it! Just don't say it. Captain. You always had to be a hotshot, didn't you? Even after when Granny Irina would scold you for flying so recklessly. You just... Why? Why? He didn't. He sacrificed himself, Caesar said. He handed him something wrapped in cloth. He never stopped fighting, JoJo. This fight was for you and me. To save us. To give us another chance. Captain! This concludes JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Battle of Fate. What if Joseph Joestar was Dr. Fate? Part 9. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned next time as we continue with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Battle of Fate. What if Joseph Joestar was Dr. Fate? Part 10. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.